Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am playing with some fun Brutus Monroe products. So I have the Floral Frames stamp set, which is upside down. As you can tell, I have already used this bad boy. So I have this. I also have this Scrapbook stencil. It is a butterfly with some florals, sheet of white cardstock, some glitter glaze and fallen snow, and a couple of chroma mists. So let's see what I can do. Alright guys, the first thing I do is grab my little cardboard box that I kind of use to kind of keep that overspray going. I place my stencil down on some white cardstock, and then I'm just going to take these beautiful, beautiful chroma mists and I'm just going to squirt all over this thing. So I am using the purple on the flowers and I'm using the green over top of the butterfly. And then there are places where the green and the purple kind of meld together. So now I have a bunch of liquid on top of the stencil. So I'm going to grab another piece of cardstock, lay it down flat on top of that stencil, and pull a stencil print off of it. So stencil printing is something that is super fun. Now I do have some kind of spludges and spludgies and all those kind of words, and that's okay. I am going to put the stencil right back on top of the stencil print that I had pulled, and I would not have had so many of these extra splotches if I wouldn't have completely soaked that stencil with the chroma mist. If you would have had less chroma mist spray, then your stencil would not have oversprayed like this. I am completely okay that it oversprayed though, because I am making my own glitter stock. So I'm taking the Fallen Snow glitter glaze, and if you haven't tried glitter glaze, you guys, you need to get some and you need to play with it. So you guys know that I have been a huge fan of glitter glaze for a long time. Brutus Monroe has actually updated their glitter glaze formula, and it's also in a larger jar that has a metal screw top lid on it, with kind of like this plasticky liner. So basically it's going to keep your glitter glaze from drying out faster. And the new formulation is, oh my goodness, it is so smooth and gorgeous. Just look at it laying down on this cardstock right here. Now I am making an absolute mess. So, you know, mixed media, there are ways to do mixed media where it is neat and clean. I know that that sounds funky, neat and clean mixed media, but I promise there are ways. But I'm not one of those people that are really concerned with doing it neatly and cleanly. I am more of a person to just go ahead and have a fun time with it. And if it makes a huge mess, it makes a huge mess. You worry about that later. So I am using a one palette knife, and I do use one palette knife for all of my glitter glaze. It always happens, you guys, no matter how well you clean it off, wipe it off, rinse it off, whatever you're doing to clean off your palette knife, glitter is still going to hang around. So I find it easier to just dedicate one palette knife to the glitter glazes instead of getting random bits of glitter stuck to all of the varying palette knives that I have in my stash. So now I'm just going to finish getting glitter all over the layout here, and then I'm going to lift the stencil, and where the stencil was not allowing glitter glaze to go through, it's going to be nice and smooth and colorful, and everywhere else is going to have the glitter, and I just love this effect. It is, you know, it is a messy little effect, but I love it. If you look at my albums, you will see that I have very clean layouts. I have very messy layouts, and I just love all the things, and the variety just makes my heart happy. So I am pulling out the Watercolor Galaxy paper packs, and I've chosen some purpley ones, and I've chosen one that has the most green in it. It does have a little bit of blue, but that is okay. And now I'm going to trim these down so that I have thinner strips, and I'm going to create a focal point on this page. Now, when I originally thought about doing this layout, I was going to keep the focus as a circle, but I kind of cover up half of the background here. So these are photos of me as a child in Hershey Park, 1983 or 1984. We'll find out at the end because I do put the date on it, but I can't remember exactly what it is right now. So Hershey Park is a theme park in Hershey, Pennsylvania. If you have never been or never heard of it, it is the same Hershey as Hershey Candy Company. And if you go there, the town smells like chocolate, you guys. It is simply amazing. The light poles have Hershey Kisses on them. Some of them are wrapped, some of them are unwrapped. And I mean big Hershey Kisses up at the top of the light poles. So it's just a super fun time. And growing up in Maryland, Hershey Park was just something that was part of my life. It was quick and easy to get to. So just good old memories over there in Hershey. So I do decide to put some borders around my Galaxy paper pads here. And I do that because I felt like it was kind of getting lost over top of the Chroma mists that I had sprayed and pulled the stencil print for. I just felt like I needed that little bit of distinction between the Watercolor Galaxy papers and the Chroma mist that is down on the layout here. So I'm going to go ahead, trim those down, figure out where exactly I want them to be, and then I'm going to layer my photos on top of that. So basically I'm building a long, narrow photo mat, and I'm just trying to figure out the best positioning so that you still see a good amount of the paper, but it's not really taking away from the photos. There's a lot of sparkly goodness on this layout, but the photos aren't sparkly. They're actually, they have a vintage feel to them. They have the curved photo edges. I mean, they're from the 80s, so there you go. I am using liquid glue since I am gluing directly on top of glitter glaze. I always recommend using a liquid glue when you are gluing on top of the glitter glaze. That is because that liquid glue will get down in those nooks and crannies of the glitter glaze and really just give you a good adhesion, as opposed to kind of like a dry tape kind of glue. So I'm just holding it up to make sure I like what's going on there, and I do. I pull out the Bourbon Street Sequin mix because they are a mix of purple and green sequins, and since my layout is pretty much purple and green, I figured that would be a good match. Now, the Bourbon Street Sequin mix also has my absolute favorite sequins inside of it, and that is those super sparkly gold sequins. They usually make it on layouts. So I'm just going to apply a couple of the sequins on either side of my photos just to give it a little teeny extra bit of sparkly goodness because, you know, the homemade glitter stock isn't enough. I'm pulling out these Simple Stories foam letter stickers that you can get from the Brutus Monroe website. There are multiple colors. These are a super fun, easy to use block font. They're not too big, they're not too small, they are just perfect. And how great is it that they fit right there on top of my photo mat. Now, I know that ladybugs and butterflies are not the exact same thing, but to me they're all bugs, so it works out pretty well. I am going to pull in a couple little tile stickers from my stash to go ahead and finish this title up and also add the date. So I had a little bit of a snafu right there. I have a pile of goodies over to the left-hand side that you can kind of see, and it toppled over. So, you know, I kind of live in controlled chaos when I'm creating. So I am applying these stickers. So it says little. So the title is now Little Bug. And I was a little kid at this point. I was 3 or 4 years old at the time. So, you know, tiny little kid. 1983, we can tell because I put down the 3 first. So I'm just going to put that date down there, and that is going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this process video today. Of course, I will have some of the products that I used linked down below. So I would love to see if you create your own glitter stock or even pull a stencil print. Be sure to tag me if you do any of those fun things, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.